Carrot, baby.
Welcome to Open Up Forum, where we talk about anything and everything and give you a godly perspective on it. I'm here today with my boy Rob Little Lion,
Hey,
co-host, my co-host Ronald McConaughey, and our boy Matt, engineer. He ain't got no mic again this week, but
Might never get a microphone.
yeah, Matt don't never get a microphone.
You give Matt a microphone, he gonna go, ooh yeah.
can you sing in these mics? Are these
Yeah, I think so.
Hello.
How do
Is it me you're looking for? Remember that song?
say
Anyway.
goodbye?
Oh, I really did ask for that, bro. Okay, seriously now.
Sound good, though, right?
The annihilation. Listen.
Until the end,
Yeah, it
it
was
was
good.
okay.
Oh,
But that
wow.
last note.
It sounded.
All right.
last note.
Our customers, listen.
I'm polished.
Listen, we have to let's get a
He said
you trying to get a handle on today. Can we get a handle on today?
Yeah,
We gonna try
Self-discipline.
because this is crazy.
You get rid of
crazy
that hat,
subject.
yeah.
Nah, bro, that had good right now.
man, you crazy.
But anyway,
We're trying to lighten it up because this is a really rough.
yeah,
subject.
we got a good topic today. The annihilation of a strong black man. It's something we've been talking about for quite some time now.
We're gonna have to spend some time on this.
Yeah, but I know
One show,
because
she's
it's different. It's
Couple
different
sessions.
phases. In the
I don't think
physical,
one's gonna do it.
because
I really don't.
yeah, it probably won't. It probably won't.
Might need to bring
And we
some
might
guests too.
Yeah.
we might do several on this one. But to get us started off, I'm saying the annihilation of a strong black man is due through social. We got social media. We got education. We got incarceration, police brutality, as far as just trying to destroy the image of a man, black man, to society, put it on society to destroy us, and even health wise. I just think, as a black man, I think we have to continue to self-discipline ourselves. I think it's going to have to start with us for this image that we putting out.
Thank you.
I think it's going to have to start
Very
with us,
much.
because starting with us results in better things, that how people perceive us, how other people outside the black community perceive us, and in the long run, it'll help build our youth, the men who's coming behind us. And I think that's important also. But let's start by, I don't know where you want to start at, but I think we should start on how society is visualizing us per se right now, because I think we all know that society, as people outside the black community, is visualizing us as in a negative light.
Yes, the society is definitely visualizing us in a negative light. And I believe that if we allow them to continue on that path,
Can we use the normal voice now?
they're
Where's the medical? He's off his meds.
Normal voice.
No. I'm glad you started there,
Mm-hmm.
because, Dr. Jawanza,
Kunjufu?
yes sir, Kunjufu.
Good
He-
man.
Yes
Great
sir. He
books.
just passed away last year.
Did he? Oh,
Mm.
okay.
So
Rest in peace to him.
Amen. So he talks about how society promotes the visual images
Mm-hmm.
of inferiority in black communities.
You're talking about the destruction of
Yes.
black boys?
Yes. And he talks about the images that they see with their natural eyes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Television, movies, comic books,
Mhm.
newspapers. You see it in real life outside their doors. It's never, like you said, it's never anything positive. You see positive here, positive there, but you're becoming bombarded. You're getting bombarded with negative.
Mm-hmm.
Negative after negative after negative. If you got 10 negative images and 2 positive,
Mm-hmm.
what does that do to your psyche?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel where he's coming from, but I want to take him one step further, because It's not just what we see with our natural eyes. This is just my take on this. It's also the images in your mind that you're influenced to imagine. So the imagination also plays a role in how you see yourself and your people based on what you're fed. You follow what I'm saying? Because you don't necessarily have to see something negative with your naked eye. You could be fed that through a sentence. We can have a conversation, and then somebody could say, well, you know, so-and-so did such and such. And then your mind starts, as it starts comprehending what you're saying, it'll start visualizing what you're saying. And if you come to a description about somebody, they will visualize that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's not just what you see with your naked eye, it's also what you imagine as well. If you're told constantly you're never going to be nothing, you're never going to accomplish anything, you're never going to do anything, that starts putting the image in your mind of your own self, does it not?
Yeah.
Right?
For most people, yes. For some people, it's not going to believe what you say.
Right.
Too.
Some
people are not going to believe that.
But 9 times out of 10,
do.
a young child, and this is what he was really talking about, the conspiracy
to destroy black boys.
He's talking about young black boys, right? And I agree with his perspective on how, you know, he didn't say that a single mom couldn't raise a black man. He didn't say that. He said that it takes a black man to raise a black boy to become a black man. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I agree with that wholeheartedly, because there's something about the image of a man from the spiritual aspect that no woman on the face of this planet could ever raise a child to meet. It's not going to happen. There's a spirit that is the male, then there's a spirit that is the female. That is based on those genders that God put into his system for his purpose. Right? Now, we know that the scripture says that there's no male or female in the body of Christ.
Right.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the system that God created and put human beings on earth for. What is the role of the man? What is the role of the woman? What is society trying to do? Reverse the roles. Men do what women do. Women do what men do. Now you got men trying to be women and women trying to be men. Am I right or wrong about that?
Yeah, but I don't know where that
You see what I'm saying?
It's coming from, though.
It's coming from society. Society is trying to put that image out. We are supposed to be equal. We get that. In the marriage, it's supposed to be 50-50 in the marriage.
Well, you know, it's never 50-50, but I know
it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah, we know.
That's the
Sometimes
intentions.
it's 60-40, sometimes it's 80-20. You know.
Is for it to be
Exactly.
Yeah, but you that's what you try to do, 50-50, right?
You try to.
Right.
You shoot for.
Yeah.
But even with that, that's just governing. That's not the structure. That's just governing. That's just governing the household.
Right.
Right? So when you look at the image, we have to start there. We have to build a better image.
Yep.
Not just with the naked eye, but also with the mind.
Yes.
We got to start imprinting in the minds of our youth. Stop saying, hey, man, you can't do this. You ain't going to never do this. You ain't going to never be this. You ain't going to never accomplish this. Start saying you can.
Yeah.
You can be this.
We got to implant.
But make sure it's the right thing.
Right. Implant positivity in our youth.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
Yes.
I get that. Yep.
Yes.
I agree. I agree with that. Implanting positivity is the outcome, because we for so long, I think we've been portrayed as what they say, brutes, thugs. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, and it's in our music, it's in our TV shows, like you mentioned. And I think when people outside the Black community see that, it burns an impression, like you said, in them to see us as that. So if they walking down the street looking at us, they like, this guy might be a thug or he's a brute. Especially the way we dress or how we conduct ourselves. And that's the key, how we conduct ourselves. Man,
you on fire today.
Yo, that's the key.
You on fire today.
Well, how we conduct ourselves proves to them in reality what we really are.
Dr. Jawanza said this. And I was checking out Ishmael Reed as well, but and I was checking out John Henry Clark. But what he said was this, that was really something important and stuck with me. He said, the streets is like where most young boys, black boys, end up falling into. He said, because once you take away the education and they're not going to church, they don't have the functional household dynamics. So where else are they going to end up in?
Yeah,
And it's the streets.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna give you my take on that. The streets are not meant to produce grown men.
Yeah.
When you go out to the streets late at night and it's quiet out there, you ain't nobody, no traffic, nothing like that. Nobody really moving around. Ain't supposed to be anyway. What's out there? Animals. Am I right? Stray cats, stray dogs, mice, rats, raccoons, possums.
That's when they go out.
Wrong community, wrong parts of town. You're gonna have coyotes, mountain lions,
owls,
bears, right? But bears are bold. They'll be in your backyard.
If you're in the suburbs.
But the point that I want to make is this: it's not designed to raise people, it's designed to raise animals. At that time, in those junctions, you're going to find more animals out in those areas. So when you got kids in school, we got to find some place to bring them to after school so that they don't end up in the streets. Because keep in mind, you talked about the image and what society is projecting them to be. What does society call them? A lot of people in society that are fearful of these young boys, that especially the teenage young men, they call them animals. Because that's what the streets are designed to bring up, animals, right? We was ripping and running in the streets at one time, were we not?
Oh yeah.
Right? Were we doing things that says and made the statement that we are men of standards?
Nah.
Not if you run in the streets.
Nah, you run in the
Pretty
streets.
much, no.
We ain't doing that.
I mean, the street game is a street game. It's
I think more.
it's either you're going to drug or you're going to go to prison or, maybe a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? But
what you're talking about right there, Rob, that was his point.
But I will say this, sometimes the streets will raise you though. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get put in the wrong situation and you realize that I don't fit here, then it's time to make a change. Yeah. Some people make a change. Some people still keep trying, and what's going to happen to them. Either they're going to die, they're going to go to the insane asylum, or they're going to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? Or they just be hooked up on the streets.
That's old school. That you just went back, Rob.
Well, I'm just keeping it real,
insane
man.
Asylum.
Why is they call it something different now? What they call it now? I'm sure they got a new name for it now, right?
They don't deal with the insane asylum today like that, man.
Yeah, but you will end up, in places like that. No, you will. You keep the street game going. That's what you want to end. That's it. That's your ending. Period.
This is the reality.
Unless you
of
change
the society in which we lived in. Because I want to touch on what you just said. I saw a news flash about 2 weeks ago. There was a guy who ended up going to the insane asylum, right? The madhouse, loony bin, however you want to put it. They don't call
psychiatric hospital. Let's go there.
That's what they actually call the psychiatric hospital.
Let's go there.
They put him in a psych ward. The guy had no reason to be there. They put him in there because he was homeless. That's the only reason why they took him and put him in there. Here is the kicker. They kept him in there for months. Nobody knew where he was at.
You can get lost.
Whatever family he had, they were never contacted. So when they talk about people disappearing from the streets, that's a real thing.
Yeah. Yes.
That's a real thing. And you talk about people end up in an insane asylum, we call them the psychiatric hospital, the psych ward. That's a real thing as well. We don't know who these people are who are making these judgment calls on these people. And so that's why for Black men today, especially young Black men today, it's important that you always let somebody know where you're going, right? Who you're supposed to be hanging out with, and be where you say you're going to be, right? Now, this is reminiscent of the 1960s, 1950s, 1970s, right? Going all the way back to those days. This is reminiscent of that. So we're still in that era today where people are turning up missing. And look, I think that part of that is because of how people are appearing to look, how they're appearing to be. We have a government today that is snatching people up off of the streets simply based on how they look.
Yeah.
How can you look Hispanic?
Mm-hmm. You could look Hispanic.
I don't know how you can look Hispanic. You understand what I'm saying? Because I met people who were Hispanic, but they look black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ask them, are they black? Did they say they black?
Yeah, they say they're black.
No, then they black.
They black, but they look Hispanic. I mean, but they're Hispanic, but they black. They look black.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what I mean. When you start talking to them, you think they black. You start talking to them, and then they start talking Spanish.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But they look black. So how can you look Hispanic? That's the point that I'm making.
Well, I know a guy who's from the Dominican Republic. He's darker than me, and he said he's not black. He said his grandfather was black.
Did he look Dominican or did he look black?
I told you he's darker than me.
But did he look black?
He had that like look that you could be from somewhere else, but you can't just look at him and tell that he's from Dominican Republic.
Right, you can't tell.
Right.
You could probably tell he might be maybe
Yeah,
Barbados or something like that.
Right.
Trinidad,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But
Something
he
like
looked black to you. Right? Maybe
he was darker than me, man.
Not black, but foreign black.
He said he's not black, but his grandfather was black.
Right. I can
But he
deal
ain't
with that.
black.
I could deal with that.
You understand that?
Yeah.
I don't understand how your grandfather could be black, but you're not black.
Yeah. He doesn't consider himself black. A lot of Hispanics, we said this before. A lot of Hispanics don't consider themselves black. A lot of them do. Like you said before, and you pointed out, a lot of Hispanics consider themselves to be white.
Well, that's a fact.
Because they're classified as white.
That's a fact.
That's it. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Now, the way you look, and like I said, I don't know how anybody could look Hispanic, but I mean, you know what? Let me correct myself. You can look Mexican, right? Because it's a distinctive look.
Yeah.
I would give them that.
This is gonna get racist.
It sounds like it is. But I'm just speaking my opinion on this thing from what I've seen. Because if you look at somebody like George Lopez, he don't look white. He don't look black. So I guess you.
Yeah. Now him. I
can see what they're saying. So I stand corrected.
No, I can kind of see what
I stand corrected on what they're saying. I stand corrected on that. Now I just answered my own question. How can you look Mexican? Yeah. So they're arresting people based on the way they look and how they appear to them. We're well familiar of that. We're well familiar with that.
And I think that comes from us being a multicultural United States of America. We could tell you're not generally from a place like, Indiana or somewhere like that. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You could tell he ain't from Iowa, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? Or even Nebraska.
Or New York.
Yeah, or New York.
California.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But
we can distinctly tell that, but just by looking at somebody and be like, where you from?
We could.
Yeah.
But sometimes we get it wrong.
Yeah, we do get it wrong.
Especially when they start talking.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, but see, I don't know if that's the benefits of living in the United States because we are so multicultural. There's so many different cultures in here and that's the thing about the United States. We have a lot of these different cultures in
different ethnic groups.
Ethnicities and these groups and different races all over the place.
So why is it that when it comes to this great big melting pot called America, the United States of America, why is it with all of the various ethnic groups that we have, all the multicultural ethnicities that we have in this country, when you look at statistics, every time you turn around, every negative statistic, sickness, disease, crime, poverty, all of these, poor education, poor, unemployment, poor job skills, all of these things that tie into this, bad credit, all the stuff that tie into this, all the negative statistics, black
illiterate
people,
and all that stuff.
Black people are leading the way.
Well, supposedly though, supposedly you have to look at those stats.
Statistically.
And I mean, then you have, like, I'm one who don't believe that all stats are 100% correct.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like some are, we can live with that, but some stats are just
some stats you got to question.
Some stats are just not right.
You got to question.
Like I told the person how many people go missing, right? per year in America, and they didn't believe me. And the guy was a cop when I told him the numbers. Right? He didn't believe me. I told him the number. He came back the next time and said, "Yeah, you were right about that." So sometimes stats are accurate.
Yeah, sometimes
you know what I'm saying, but sometimes stats are not accurate, especially when it's on us. You know, when it's on black people, because for whatever reason, they just want us to be the worst at everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I agree.
It doesn't like it doesn't work out that way. We're not like the less. Like we're the first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're the first everything in America, period.
And I believe because of that, I think it's designed to shun us and designed to put us down so we don't excel.
But I was doing some research on this, and this is I'll ask a question about the last 20 years. What was the number one killer of black people in America? Again, this is going back.
Well, at one time it was abortion.
No, the number one killer for the last 20 years.
At one time it was abortion.
It has always been heart disease.
Nah, I'm serious, man.
I'm serious.
Listen, sometimes there's stats behind the stats,
yeah,
right, that they don't talk about.
I hear what you're saying.
That whole
question
movement,
I asked was specific.
That whole movement, right?
Right.
With the abortions and stuff like that was started by a white woman.
Yes.
And what she wanted to do was basically do what they did, which was abort a lot of black babies.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
What they call that, eugenics, I think it's called. That was tied into the eugenics movement. If I'm not mistaken, that's tied into the eugenics movement. I could be wrong about that, but I'll look into that further. But when I asked the question about the last 20 years, heart disease has been the number one killer of black people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a lot of factors that go into that.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's check this out, Rob. Here's what shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
In that research that I was doing, you would think that with all of the talk about crime in the black community, which our young boys are growing up into and witnessing and getting this image of us being violent people, us being inferior people because we are uneducated, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're uncivilized, right?
Mm-hmm.
All we are is street runners, drug runners, pimps, prostitutes, pole dancers, all the stuff that they have incorporated. And we got to stop glorifying that. We got to stop trying to make that a positive thing. It's not positive. That stuff ain't positive.
Mm-hmm.
It's in all of that. Here's the thing that jumped out to surprise me. Crime was consistent at 3 to 4% for the past 20 years in the black community. Crime, I'm gonna say that one more time because it's shocking. For the past 20 years, crime has been consistent in the black community from 3 to 4% in the black community across the country.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the things, cancer increase, diabetes sky high, increase, Alzheimer's slow rise but increasing. What else they had? Heart disease, number one, highest thing. Accidents is like 10, maybe 12%. Increase in fluctuation, but crime has been consistent 3 to 4% for the past 20 years in black America. But yet, in certain news feeds, news organizations, we're getting hit with our crime in our community is totally outrageous. Something has to be done about it.
Right.
Somebody's lying.
But the priority is
somebody's lying.
Right.
So the number one thing is health.
Right.
And that's all tied to us not getting the proper care that we need to get. We're not getting the education. We talked about that, how schools are failing. We're not getting the education. We have too many children going to school, not focusing on getting the academics done. Talking about acing the curriculum. The curriculum is not going to tell you the truth about life.
Mm-hmm.
The curriculum is basically what they want you to study, and they want to grade you by how much you have learned from what they're teaching you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you're looking for the truth, don't look for it in the curriculum. Right? So we got to get our kids to understand that. Because one thing about our children want the truth. For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Most kids want the truth.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with crime being consistent for the past 20 years, why is it always our problem? Why is it like we're killing more people than any other ethnic group in the world when it comes to what's happening in America. That's simply not true.
And I think that's designed.
That's simply not true.
And it's true. I agree, but I think that's designed for us to be incarcerated, for us to be out of the picture, meaning the focus point in law enforcement, focus point gonna be on Black gentlemen, the young boys, and regardless to, I mean, even over white young men. Because I know years ago they did that test with, they was testing, they send Black people into a white neighborhood and they get pulled over. So now saying white people in the same vehicle, same amount of boys, and nothing happens. So I think that's the demographic of how what you're saying is happening to keep us down as far as being Black in America. They're gonna paint that picture of us being violent animals. They're gonna paint that picture of us being aggressive and murderous because they don't want that other thing to come out as far as the health.
Right.
And the education far as health.
Right.
To keep us Black men healthy. They don't want that to come out more than, the violence that we so-called portray. And it's only 3 to 4%, 20 years consistently. Am I right?
20 years.
But
3 to 4%.
They don't want to educate us on how to get us to do better by diabetes. They don't want us to get about high cholesterol. They don't want to teach us or educate ourselves on how to keep us out the doctor's office. You know what I mean?
Part of the problem is we don't, of all the ethnic groups, I don't really believe this myself, but I do understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Let me put that in here.
Yeah.
Part of the problem with the diagnosis is we tend to not go to the doctors.
That's true.
But I don't think that that's a Black people thing.
Well,
you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't believe that that's just us.
Yeah, I seen it happen.
Because I know some white people, and
I know
some white people and some Black people.
Yeah, that don't want to go.
Yeah. Nah, I ain't going.
Nah, I ain't going to the doctor.
You know how much that bill gonna be?
Yeah. They said, I'll rub this ointment on there forever. I'll be all right. Give me that ointment. Or give me that alcohol. Yeah. Just throw some alcohol on it. You got a big knot.
Remember Lindemann?
But here's the facts of the matter.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of killing like they promote us to be. They want to turn our kids into psychopaths, degenerates, mental degenerates, with people that just are immoral and don't respect life. But we have this thing that God gave us that makes us respect life altogether. Watch this. Look at this. In 2022, Black African Americans were 37% less likely to die by suicide than the U.S. population overall. What does that tell you? Suicide is not what we do.
No.
We don't kill ourselves.
Not for the most part, no.
No,
the
happens, majority.
But,
when it happens, we're surprised. We're surprised.
Yeah.
We're shocked.
Yeah.
We're surprised because we don't raise our children like that. Our children are raised to respect life for the most part.
Absolutely.
The ones in the street, you let the street, like you said, you let the street raise you, you're going to end up 1 of 3 places. And neither one of those 3 places are good.
Nope.
So the streets ain't got nothing for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Up daisies, lock up.
The thing that all of the men were saying that I have watched over the past couple of days, and they were saying basically the same thing. It comes down to a spiritual awareness.
Yes.
It comes down to a spiritual awareness. Yes. And like I said, Dr. Juwan said, he said that the church, they're not going to church. So the last option is they're ending up in the streets. You follow what I'm saying? Now, I was talking to a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, and I asked him, I said, man, do you have a lot of men in your church? He said, no, not a lot of men in my church. I said, you ever ask the question why there's not a lot of men in your church? He said, yeah, I did. I had a conversation with my pastor, and he said he actually took it upon himself to go ask several different men, why that were in the church, why they don't no longer go. And they said they're tired of getting beat up with the word. They're tired of getting beat up with the word.
Explain that.
Because they're held responsible. They're held responsible, and they don't want to get beat up. They're tired of getting beat up with the word of God. Oh, well, man has got to do this. The man has to do that. The man has to do this. And he said that they feel as though the women are getting a pass, quote unquote pass. They're getting off easy. They don't
so basically
talk about the women and what they do that's wrong. They talk about the men and what the men do is wrong. But there's a reason for that. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was just saying that I think basically what they're saying is men don't want to take accountability for or responsibility for what the Bible calls them to do.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
And listen, I want to talk about this thing called the alpha male. So we talking about the annihilation of the strong black male. The term alpha male, you heard that, right?
Yeah,
we've all heard that. When you hear about that term, what do you think about?
Strong male, strong man, basically.
The
leader,
right?
Yeah.
So the idea of the alpha male, I had to look into that. I was just curious. I was like, man, who came up with that idea? How did that even start? That wasn't started by somebody that's studying man. That wasn't started by an anthropologist. That was started by a zoologist. I'm like, wait a minute, you
using terms animals to say what men? Wait a minute, animal terms
to describe human beings.
Men?
Yes.
Yeah. But because you gotta look at it now. Listen, in the kingdom of packs, there are alphas. In the animal kingdom, if we looking at the wolf pack, there's an alpha male in the wolf pack.
Actually, wolf packs are familial.
Okay.
There's no alpha male in the wolf pack. That was
wow. You picked the wrong.
That was
animal. You could have picked any animal.
Okay. Well, hold on.
In the primate family, you'll find that.
So which one? I was going to say
we the top of the food chain in primates.
Now
right?
Look, the next place I was going for was the lions.
Now that's definitely alpha lion.
Because that's the next.
That's a different one.
Yeah. See, because that's where I was going next.
Yeah. So go to the lions.
So go to the lions. Let's go to the lions.
Because the lions isn't the female the ones that really
they hunt. They take care of the family.
Yeah.
They do.
But the male lion controls the pride.
He controls the pride.
Pride.
Because it's called pride. Because the king, the male lion, who have all these women,
right,
and the kids are his. He patrols all the territory
now,
and sense it, right, and then protects his pride
now
from any other outside male that threatens to come in.
Makes him the alpha.
That makes him right.
Now, is that alpha male lion going around having sex with the other male lions?
No.
It's possible though.
So, no, he's not.
No,
he's not.
No, so it's possible, man. It's possible. I'm sorry.
So, and they translate that.
Listen, you can have that because anything that can happen in nature, right, can happen to all of nature. You know, you understand what I'm saying? We're natural.
But see, look, I can hear what you're saying on that. Let me say why.
If you look in nature, right? Yes, some people could have a liking or what do you call it? They're attracted to the same sex. You know,
okay, but
that's their preference.
Have you ever heard that happening with a lion?
Yes, I have heard that it happens in the wild.
You
heard that happen with a lion?
I have heard that. Yes, I have heard that happens in nature.
Never heard
yes, I've heard
that. I hear how you're answering. Yes. You're very clever with your answer.
Yes.
I have heard that happen with a lion.
Yes.
So two male lions
with a lion.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Now I heard that happen. I heard that happen with some monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that happen
with lions.
Matter of fact, they had it on videotape. It was documented.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my issue.
Some people, their preference is their preference. It's just natural.
We are not.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Animals.
We talking nature though.
We are animals, but we just top the food chain. That's all.
I look at it like
nobody's better than us so far.
They transfer
unless we got some kind of spiritual people.
We all
and we don't see them.
We're spiritual beings trying to master the human experience. There you go. Now,
we're natural.
When you look at how they try to transfer that zoological mentality, attitude, statement over into our human existence, it creates
put it like that. No, it doesn't make sense.
It creates a problem.
Right.
Because what you just said is not happening in our cultures.
What's that?
Regardless of whether you're white, black, Hispanic, or other.
What are you talking
Where
about?
you have one dude going around tapping all the women, having kids with all his women, and he's protecting the whole entire community, and he's roaming the whole area to make sure that nobody else comes in there. Yeah. That's not happening. That's not how we live as a country.
No.
That's not how anybody lives.
I'm just saying from the aspect of
but I'm just making the point that they transferred that from the zoological into the anthropological, and that's wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's wrong.
If that's what they did, and you did the study on it, so
that's what they're trying to make us out to be.
Animal.
And they're trying to justify. So when men rape men, they call that the alpha male. I don't think that's the alpha male. That's the alpha male.
That's not the same thing. That's not even the same thing.
That's not the alpha male.
No. I don't.
Because they say they try to exert their dominance. They try to exert their dominance. They try to exert their power. Right. I'm just saying. This is what they say. This is what they say.
Because what you're saying is not because rape.
That's what they say.
Listen. Rape is something that is not natural. If you rape somebody, there is something. I don't care if you rape a freaking cat. You're still freaking wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So no, we're not gonna put that in that situation.
It's not me that's doing it. No. It's what they have done.
I can't picture.
Yeah, but you're talking about.
We're talking about what these people who are quote unquote.
If you rape somebody, you're psychotic. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong.
You don't get no argument from me.
But if you have a preference for a guy, I think that's just your preference. Now, if you rape a guy, then that's different.
Now you're talking about men who are using one attitude or one ideology as a cover.
What?
You're talking about men who is using one attitude or ideology as a cover.
No, I don't know what you're saying.
Well, here's what I'm saying. If you like a guy and you enjoy having sex with a guy, right?
That's nasty.
Now, I come on, guys. It's terrible. It is terrible. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, I don't share that.
But you turn around and you rape a guy and claim that you're the alpha male. That's why you raped him, because you want to try to teach him a lesson or show him that you're the one that's in control. That's covering. That's kind of like covering the ideology with. You see what I'm saying? That's trying to cover the mask. That's called masking.
You
follow what I'm saying? That's called masking.
No, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all.
It's not the same thing. No. But I'm telling you, I'm not the one.
It's like all right.
I'm not the one. How much time we got left?
We got a lot of time.
I personally like. My preference is I love black women. Like I really love black women.
I agree.
And that's why I got the tattoo on my neck, right? But check this out. Before I got this tattoo, I studied it, right? I wanted to see what it meant and everything like that, right?
What you study?
To do it, I had to go to the LGBT website.
Why?
Right?
You studied what?
So what tripped me out was that I read up on
Why'd you do that?
Because I wanted the symbol of male and female sex. And that's what this is, the symbol for heterosexual sex. So I went and studied, but all I can go to study it was in the LGBT community. And I'm saying, like, to myself, like, I don't know who made them an authority on this.
What's the symbol?
But it's kind of weird to me because the reason why it's weird to me is because they said they said
the interlocking symbol.
They said that it would be offensive. It would be offensive to the LGBT community if I wear this because straight men haven't been oppressed, right? And to me, that sounds like oppression right there. Like, you gonna tell me that you can fly your flag, but I can't fly mine? That, you can't do. Now that you can't do. You know what I'm saying? If you can fly your flag, hypocrisy. I can fly my flag, right? That's because you know why? Because I respect you and what you love, right? So you respect me and what I love. You know what I'm saying? That's the way we get along. That's just my whole opinion on that whole sex thing. It's way bigger than it should be because all we're talking about is preference. Now, if you rape somebody, if you rape a child or something like that, that ain't got nothing to do with no LGBT, nothing. You understand what I'm saying? You're wrong. If you're a pedophile, that's not normal.
None of
and
that
it will never be
none
normal.
Of that is normal.
You can't bring that. You understand what I'm saying? You can't bring that to the front, to the forefront of people, and then think that they're not going to have an opinion about it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have an opinion about it, you're being called names, or you're being called what's the homophobic. First of all, homophobia means you're scared of homosexuals, right?
Ain't nobody scared.
That's stupid, right there. That doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this type of thing is like it's way, way, way more simple than we make it. Like, why are you making it so hard?
Well,
you understand what I'm saying? What do I care about what you're doing with your? And somebody said to me, "Well, what if your daughter was a lesbian? What if your son?" Oh, what am I gonna do?
You're gonna love
them.
You're gonna love them.
You understand what I'm saying?
You're gonna love
I do my thing. They
but
do
you're
their thing.
still gonna try to help them understand where they are.
I see. This is the problem with the black male today.
I'm just saying.
This is the problem with the black male today. Right?
What's the problem?
We want to act like men, but we don't want to be men. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got all these clowns on YouTube talking about each other, and they all black. You like children.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. That's why I don't have to tear nobody down.
Segue.
I don't have to tear nobody down for me to get mine.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't have to tear somebody down
for
me to shine.
Right there,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what God gave me going to shine, period. Because God gave it to me.
Right.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So, all of that nonsense, man, it really, really, really gets on my nerves because like there's certain people you can't talk about. That doesn't make any sense. I should be able to talk about anybody. I should be able to give my opinion, especially if you're doing something.
It's your opinion.
Especially if you're doing something that's not right. And if you're doing something that's not right, then I'm not being anti anything. I'm just being anti-satanic, if anything. You understand what I'm saying? I'm anti-satanic. Yeah, okay. That's me. I'm anti. You want to call me names?
Call you.
I'm anti-satanic. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
I got what you
I don't like that. I don't like, and I'm trying not to go there because you know where I'm about to go, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Oh, listen,
where you going?
Oh, he know.
It's a perfect segue.
He know.
You talking about the word?
I'm not gonna go.
It's a perfect segue. Because
I'm sorry if I went crazy.
When we was talking about the quote unquote alpha male and how society today justifies the misbehavior of men. The LGBTQ, their scholars came out and said that that's the wrong classification for that. Exactly what you're talking about. That's the wrong classification. Raping does not equate to being alpha. So,
no, they don't.
But they were trying to justify that.
Yeah.
And some of the people who was trying to justify that were people who were part of that, but they was not coming out saying that they were. You get what I'm saying? So now here's the thing.
Did he just say something without saying it or something? Because I didn't understand what he just said.
You was drinking your water. You was focusing.
A
lot of what you just said about not being able to say something about somebody and voice your opinion if they're doing wrong. This is what a lot of young black men are being subjected to on a daily. They're being subjected to wrong and being told to be quiet about it. You get what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Yeah.
So when you're bombarded with negative, boom, they beat them down, boom, punch them, boom, with negative, nothing but negative.
I didn't put it on vibrate.
What does that do to you psychologically? So now what that does is that removes you from the humanistic part of how you're supposed to behave and makes you become more animalistic in your thinking. Get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So as they pointed out, men didn't want to go to church because they got tired of being beaten up. But this is from a book called The Soul of Manhood. It's compiled by John E. Guns. And this is just one of the section on page 4. It says, all men need at some point to be restored but to God. Restoration strengthens men's inner being and strengthens his soul. Why do we need to be restored to God? Many of us have allowed our hearts to be taken from our Creator. Therefore, we must allow the Spirit of God, the Spirit of God to redirect our hearts and paths back to the will of God. It is man's obligation to work to restore his soul to God, as the soul of man belongs to God. So when you look at what he's saying here, he's basically saying you're going to services is not going to destroy your soul.
Mm-hmm.
You hearing the word of God is not going to destroy your spirit. It's going to build up your spirit because it's going to have to break down some other things that's trying to come in to take the place of the thing that God has put in you that you're able to identify with. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Our younger generations they're not going to services. I mean, I see the young people in the church, and the church is changing. I see the church changing.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken away the pulpit. They've taken away the podium.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken away the suits and the ties, and they taken away, the women wearing dresses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically come in with your jeans and come in with your shorts and come in with your khakis.
From come as you are.
I mean, it's just a matter of time.
You got a problem with that?
No, I'm not. No, I got a problem with them taking away the dress code. Because it's going to get to the point where you just come in with your pajamas.
Well, they do it at school, so
they do it.
And we
school.
never had that when we were going to school.
Yeah, we never had that.
They got pajama day at school.
They do have pajama day.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time we got dressed up was Halloween, right?
Sometimes I wear my pajamas and I can just run out to the store. I ain't gonna lie. Now, this one lady just called me on it. She's like, "Why you going out?" I was like, "I mean, you lady."
Back in the day, that's the only time you could come in your pajamas, but Halloween.
Now I want to tie this in.
What they call that? The party, sleepover party.
Can I read this real quick, fellas?
Sure, go ahead.
In his brilliant work, Madness and Civilization, Michael Foucault writes, the animality that rages in madness dispossesses man of what is specifically human in him, not in order to deliver him over to other powers, but simply to establish him at the 0 degree of his own nature. For classicism, madness in its ultimate form is man in immediate relation to his animality, without other reference, without any recourse. You're leaving him in a state of dehumanization. You're leaving him in a state of feeling like he's caged, right? You're letting him go, and then he breaks out and he goes wild, right? There's nothing to restrict him. There's nothing to hold him back. There's nothing to say, hey, there's nothing to contain him. So if a man is immoral, let's just start there. Not raised right. If he's immoral and you give him power, is he going to allow the power to control him and bring him into a standing of common sense?
Probably not. He's probably going to be a very immoral leader. Well, that sounds like somebody we might know.
Who could that be? But I hear where you're coming from with that, and that's exactly the point right there. So our image has to come not only through what they physically see, but also what we speak out of our mouths. So when we give them the image in their mind, they visualize it, it's got to be one of positivity. You talked about the cats on YouTube attacking each other. Isn't that the same thing as the animals out in the street attacking each other over the corner or over the piece of food that fell on the ground that they're trying to gather? And rather than, hey, come into a system where let's divvy this thing up so we all can get a piece
instead of fighting for scraps. Yeah,
I think that's what separates us from the animals. I think that's basically what separates. We have the ideal knowledge to say, look, animals just want about territory and what they own.
Everyone by instinct,
basically. Yeah, basically instinct. But we have intelligence. We have intelligence to say, all right, look, you can take that. I'll take this. We can share this because there's enough room here for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. You would hope people would think.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of work to do, and I love the fact that
we don't have a long time to do it.
We don't. I love the fact that you brought that to our attention, and we did the segment on education because we had to. That was imperative that we did that, and we got to stick with that because education is the starting point. It is not just the starting point; it is the maintaining point. We must maintain the education element in our young kids. We must maintain teaching them. This same book, and this is coming from one of the.
But do you think the education system in America is a good system?
It serves a purpose.
No.
But
do you think it's a good system? Think it's a good thing?
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
I do.
The education system in America is good.
Yeah, let me explain what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to do this real fast. When I say the education system in America is a good thing, I'm talking about the fact that it's a system with the intentions of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ask me if that's a good thing, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Now the curriculum is a different story.
Okay.
That has to change.
Okay.
It should be about the truth.
We're together on that one.
It should be about the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
And include all history. So if you're asking me if it's a good thing, I'm gonna say yes because of what it stands for, what it's supposed to do. And if you operate it correctly, you can go far in it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can go far in that system.
Okay. Let me tell you this, right? When you're on unemployment, right, and you go to unemployment, to like get a job,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If you only have a high school education or GED, you have to take a test, right? They test you, right? So if you got like a what do you call it, associate's degree, then you don't have to take the test. If you have anything associate's degree and above
for unemployment,
you don't have to take.
When did they start doing that?
I don't know when they started doing it, but this is what they're doing. So
Wow.
if you have an associate's degree or above, you don't have to take the test. But if you have a high school diploma or GED, you have to take the test. And do you understand why? Because like now, associate's degree and like the bachelor's degree, it's not what it used to be. Now you need your master's in order to really make money and break through.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because they understand that the system that they teach us in K through 12, it won't have you prepared for life after school.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Unless you have somebody like, somebody's got to be, making sure that you stay on point. And some people just are smart like that. They just get it. You know what I'm saying? You could tell them something and they remember word for word. You know what I'm saying?
I got what
and that's pretty much what they do sometimes the school system. Yeah. So they pass. But that doesn't mean they have what they need when do you understand I'm trying
I got what you're saying. But isn't the fact that if you got a GED or a high school diploma and you have to take the test to get unemployment, isn't that in itself a statement that should be considered as important? Isn't that in itself a statement that should be considered important? Because if you don't have to take the test if you're associates or bachelor's or better, but you got to take it if you just got your college. I mean, if you got your high school and your GED diploma, that's telling you that you got to go further.
Right. Yeah. That's
Don't you think that's important?
What do you think I was saying?
The system doesn't change.
That was my whole point.
That's okay. So your answer is yes. So
do you have a fever or something, man? I just said all of that and you didn't hear what I said.
I heard everything you said. That's why I asked the question. I want to make sure.
Okay. So you were just asking a question. Okay, I get you. Sometimes you throw me off.
Drink your water. So young black males.
You need to drink some water too.
Of course. Give me some water. Young black males across the board, some score below their counterparts in other racial and ethnic groups when it comes to graduation rates, literacy rates, and college preparedness. And many African American men, in turn, are virtually locked out of employment and are filling up the nation's prisons in disproportionate numbers. The majority of the 2.3 million people incarcerated in U.S. prisons and jails are people of color, people with mental health issues, and drug addictions, people with low levels of educational attainment, and people with a history of unemployment or underemployment. But no matter how dismal the statistics on Black America may be, there still is hope. There is a God who sits high and looks low, and who sees and knows the plight of his people. This God is available and willing to give us a hand up. God moves through human history and makes God's concerns for the plight of the poor known. This is the same God who told the young Israel as a people, when you harvest the grain, I want you to leave 1/10 on the field standing. Don't harvest it at all. Leave 1/10 standing for the widows, wayfarers, and orphans. Leave some of your grain for those who are dispossessed, homeless, and those who have no means of their own to make their way in life. This is from Dr. Raynard Smith, who was a member of our church. And his
he wrote that?
Yes. And he didn't write the whole book, but he just wrote this. This is part of his speech, his sermon. that God gave him to share.
I get it.
And what he was saying that the message was, he wanted a handout, but he got a hand up. He said he asked for a handout, but got a hand up.
Mm-hmm.
What we don't focus on in our communities is the unionism, the unity part, the helping each other, the do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That goes back to when we had a common enemy and we knew who that enemy was. Even though we didn't really fully believe that all of them had the same mentality and attitude, right? Because this is a spiritual warfare we engage in. But in the conspiracy to destroy young Black boys, we find that a conspiracy doesn't happen without a catalyst. It doesn't happen without a creator. Somebody has to originate that.
You get it from somewhere.
That's a fact.
It has to come from somewhere. So our job is to reverse the curse. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Reverse the curse. Unity is important. I know grown people right now. Well, they're not really grown, but they are of age. And mentally, they should have more common understanding and knowledge than this. The word tells us if you got a problem with somebody, you go to that person and you try to talk it out with them.
That's it.
That makes sense, right?
Makes sense.
Well, I know people that will call the cops rather than have a conversation with you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in their mind,
maybe they call the cops for your safety, though. You never know. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they call the cops out of fear.
Yeah.
Out of fear.
Most of the time.
Out of fear. And that's a problem with people who have that mentality. In the Black American community, we don't call the cops. The majority of us,
because we might end up getting arrested sometimes if we call them.
Part of the reason.
Yeah,
that's
you got
true.
warrants.
Real talk. Real talk.
I got warrants.
Tickets.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Real talk. That's real too. But the most dominant reason why we don't is because we feel as though we don't need them for that. We don't anticipate or expect it to get to the level where somebody's going to be dead. Somebody's going to die. We don't
need a mediator. We can figure it out ourselves.
Yeah, we believe on communication because we live it every day. Even in dysfunctional Black households, communication still exists.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
It's not good communication, but yeah.
No, it's not the perfect communication, but yes, it still exists.
No.
And so we're going to take some more time and spend some more time on this, man, because this is a lot to this. And we got a lot of areas we got to delve into. We got to delve into the health area, and we got to spend like maybe 4 or 5 sessions on this, just talking about the health area.
Looking at you guys.
We're going to talk mental health, not just physical health, but we're going to talk mental health, spiritual health, financial health. We got to talk about that because the conspiracy, I don't like using that term, but I think it's appropriate
it is.
Even to today.
For what you're talking about,
yeah. Because we're talking about the annihilation of the strong Black man. And we're going to have to deal with relationships and how women have treated Black men and how Black men have treated women.
That's the key too.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I just want to end this off here because I know we got a couple of minutes left. I think, and we hit on education today.
Man, I really appreciate you for bringing that to the table, bro.
Yeah,
I really do.
I appreciate
what
education.
The education, bro.
Education.
That's so important, bro.
I know. We talk about education for our youth and for everything too, but I think another part of the education is the spiritual education.
Definitely need the spiritual education. We there all day.
Yeah,
we there all day.
Yeah, and that people needs to stop avoiding it because like you said, men avoid going to church and stuff because they getting tired of beating on. I think for a man to improve himself, he has to have that spiritual connection.
Must
get
be
educated in what
100.
God wants
100.
him to do for himself.
Yeah, but do you have to go to church to get that?
Well,
you should
because God calls us to assemble together to learn from one another.
You have to be.
We learn from one another. We're doing it now. We're learning.
We come from a culture,
exactly,
historically, that is, of assembling together.
Yes.
So going to church, yes, would be mandatory.
You had disciples that would go out and then all come back together in biblical times and come together and discuss what they learned or put out. And they rubbed ideas off of one another because
they bounced ideas.
Yeah, they bounced ideas from one another. Peter, Paul, for instance, Thomas, all these guys.
They were thinkers.
John, yeah.
You know what? You're talking about a think tank.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a think tank.
Yeah. Basically,
right.
and basically, we have to, as men, step into that. We have to step into learning the spiritual aspects to make us better, so we can make our families better,
amen,
our communities better.
Come on,
Let's go, money.
I like that,
and I think that's the key.
Like that,
that's the key
that
with
is.
Everything we do. And I mean, don't be scared of it. Don't try to avoid it. Just step into it.
Yeah.
That's what God doing, is calling all of us to step into. Yeah, you messed up my monologue.
This is to the men. This is to the men, though. Stop punking out.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
That's it.
Stop punking out.
Step into it. That's all
the
I'm
word
saying.
Ain't gonna kill you.
All right,
remember,
guys, keep it simple. Keep it simple is the word of today. Okay.
Yes, step into that, and I think that'll help decline this annihilation of a strong black man.
Yeah.
That'll cut this short. Let's say
what they say. Don't they say whatever doesn't kill you makes you
stronger?
Ain't that what they say?
Yeah.
So if you go to church and it ain't killing you,
that's it.
I rest my case.
Hey, but yeah. So on that note, if you like the content, you like what you heard today, and we're gonna have more on this. But just subscribe. Please subscribe and stay tuned for our next event, our next podcast next week.
Sir.
So for Rob, Lil Lion, Ronald McConaughey, and Matt over there chilling, I'm Sean Wilson. This Open Up Forum. Peace.